You may have seen a video on my channel called 10 Things Stop Motion Pros Do. A lot of you have found these tips useful, but of course there are more than 10 things that you need to do to be a pro at stop motion. In this video I'm going to look at 10 more. Please note, I'm not saying that I am a stop motion pro, and I'm not saying that all stop motion pros do all of these things all of the time, or that they do only these things. But these are the things that you will often find in some of the best stop motion animations on YouTube, whether they are made with Lego or not. So hopefully there'll be something useful in here for everyone who wants to improve their animations. I hope you enjoy the video. Good composition is about how you set up your shot. At a very basic level, you need to set it up so that the right things are in the shot and anything you don't want is excluded. You probably don't want your can of drink in the shot, and you probably don't want to cut off your character's head. Once you've got the basics right, it's time to learn what makes the difference between an interesting, cool looking shot and something that's just run of the mill and boring. One simple thing that you can learn to use is the rule of thirds. It works like this. Imagine that there are 2 horizontal lines and 2 vertical lines across your screen. On some cameras, you can display these on your screen to help guide you. There are 4 points where the lines cross. You want to put your subject of interest, for example the face of your character, at one of these 4 points. This looks a lot more interesting than just sticking it right in the middle. Compare, for example, these images. The rule of thirds is just one of the principles of composition. There are lots of other composition techniques that you can learn, including knowing when you should actually break the rule of thirds. In my previous video I suggested using a lamp to light up your set, and this is definitely a good way to avoid looking like a noob. But if you really want to take your animation to the next level, you need to experiment with more advanced lighting setups. One thing you can do is just to try moving your lamps around until you get a more interesting effect. You can also try using LEDs to light up windows, or you can use spotlights or backlighting to create a different atmosphere. Ease in, ease out is quite a well-known technique for making animated movements look more natural. Easing in and out means starting action slowly, speeding up into the main part of the action, and then slowing down again at the end. A simple example is a car. When the car starts up, it takes time for the car to accelerate, and when the car brakes, it takes time for the car to slow down. The same is usually true for the movements of people and animals. They ease in and ease out. It's not true for every action, and also there are times when you deliberately want things to look snappy or even choppy. But knowing how to ease in and ease out is an invaluable skill, so you can use it when you think it's needed. In a lot of films, you'll notice that the camera moves around a lot. As well as basic movements like tilting, panning, dolly in and dolly out, there are handheld shots, crane shots, tracking shots, flyovers, and all sorts of other things as well. In stop motion, it's tempting just to stick your camera on a stand or tripod and leave it there. After all, we want to avoid camera wobble or looking like a noob with the camera going all over the place. But if you really want to take your animations to the next level, consider how you can get some movement into your shots. For example, you can rig your camera up like this to follow the movement of a speeding vehicle. You don't have to have an incredible set to make a really good stop motion. Depending on your story, you might be able to get away with something really simple. But if you look at great animations, you'll often notice that the sets are really outstanding. not able to produce something as impressive as this, because of a lack of space or materials, it's still worth taking a bit of extra time to build something that looks good. And even if you're making a Lego animation, your set doesn't have to be made of Lego. For a background, there's nothing wrong with printing out a photo or even using something from a magazine. And if you don't have loads of brown bricks for soil, or grey bricks for rocks, or beige bricks for sand, why not go for the real thing? Another thing that can make a big difference between ordinary animation and great animation is the use of subtle movements, especially the body language of your characters. Once you've mastered the basics, like getting your minifigures to walk and talk and punch, try to learn some of these kinds of movements. Using a head pop to express shock, the double take, using twisting hands to express excitement or delight. You can make a stop motion video with pretty much any camera, but if you want it to look really good, it pays off to use a proper camera and to get a great lens to go with it. Some phones do have a decent camera and can really give you nice results. But with a proper camera, by which I mean a digital SLR, and a good lens, you'll have a higher quality of image and so much more control over your settings. By your choice of lens, your aperture settings, and how far away you choose to place your camera from your set, you can control something called the depth of field. This determines whether it is just your character or main subject that is in focus, or the background as well. Giving you the ability to control the depth of field is just one way that having a quality camera and lens will help your stop motions to look professional. Another thing is that you'll get a much crisper focus and the quality of your images will be much better. Not every animation you make will be designed to tell a story, but the majority of stop motion videos are. The quality of the story can often be the most important factor in whether your video is any good. There are lots of types of story that you can tell, and some of them might be deliberately silly. But whatever your story is, you'll need a plot that has a beginning, a middle and an end, you'll need interesting characters, and you'll probably want to throw in a twist somewhere along the way to surprise your audience.
Oh, thank you. I am so prepared for this. Back here, you coward!
If your characters are going to speak, it's worth putting in the effort to give them different voices, and to put some expression into their words.
Sir, where is the Batmobile?
Alfred, I don't want to talk about it. What I need right now is to take a long shower in my bat shower and then forget this day ever happened.
If you're not great at putting on different voices, ask your family or your friends or your subscribers if they would do some voices for you. Having several different voices makes the whole thing more believable and more fun. And, very importantly, it helps the audience to know who is speaking.
Hello, Harry, it's me, Hagrid. Good to see you.
Hagrid, we need to blow up the Hot Wugs Express.
From my own collection. And best of luck, Harry.
You can have a great story, but if you don't tell it well, then your audience will have no idea what is going on. Remember that, at the start of your video, your audience might have no idea who your characters are or what is going to happen. You need to introduce the characters, allow the scenarios to gradually unfold, and explain what is happening through the dialogue and action.
I haven't seen you in ages, Tom.
Don't call me by that name! I am Lord Voldemort!
Alright then, Mr. Voldemort.
Charles! Charles! Well, well, if it isn't my evil twin brother. Charles, please, I need your help. It's a matter of life or death. My company has discovered a scientific— Yes, your fancy science career.
Don't rush. If it's a good story, then your viewers won't get bored. Take your time, and don't be afraid to slow down the action at the end of one scene before diving into the next.
Hello, Harry. Perfect day for an outdoor class, isn't it?
Blimey, just my luck.
Ah, well then.
Thanks for watching the whole of this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment or a like. And if you haven't seen it yet, check out my first stop motion pros video. For a bit of fun, you could also watch my stop motion noobs and Lego noobs videos too. Before you do that, please subscribe and hit the notification bell, as there'll be more tutorials coming out on my channel, as well as some fun Lego animations and occasional giveaways and contests that you can take part in.